Hello and welcome. This video will cover my installation of a new stereo in my Dodge Viper. It's from 2005, and we start out with a new subwoofer installation. And as you know, the subwoofer is installed between the seats in the car. So this panel I removed and I made with some foam a new design of it, so I can fit a bigger speaker within. So standard, it's a 6.5-inch subwoofer, and as you can see here, we have now a Cerwin-Vega 10-inch subwoofer. And I started out with some foaming and did contours with foam, and then we have reinforced with glass fiber and resin. So this is some parts that are going to be installed, as you can see, and it's a quite big job to do this from the beginning. So I think I put in about 60 hours in this installation. I also changed the speakers in the doors, and all the system is Cerwin-Vega. And I didn't want to have covers over the speakers anywhere, so in the doors we have cut out in aluminium some rings where I attached the screws, and I have polished them and made the installation with stainless steel screws. So here you can see when I've assembled all the interior in the car, and I tried to fit the new speakers and also some wiring. So I took out all the carpets and everything in the car to make it a little bit easier to put everything in. So I've saved all the original wires in the whole car just to make it possible to turn it back to original again. So here you can see where I've built the subwoofer box. So it was a lot of work to measure just to get the right angle and the right depth of this, because this is resting against the chassis of the car, so you don't get any vibration or anything, because the plastic have a very easy to start to vibrate and make some awful noises. And also started out to port the subwoofer box, but it turned out the volume is all too small, so later on I used it as a closed box. So here you have some more pictures and how I managed to fasten the box in the chassis, and some wiring, and also when we start in the trunk with the amplifiers. Now we're getting ready with the speakers installation to the doors, and also beginning setting up the amplifiers in the trunk. So there is the result. And we also have the filters for the tweaks and so on under the passenger seat. So here you have the screws and the rings for the speakers in the doors, all polished and ready to go into the car. I'm very satisfied with the result with this, and it came out really nice. And then I have a suede interior. All the plastics I have covered with some suede material that are elastic and glued to every part of the stereo installations. So here you can see the backrest where the subwoofer will go in. And this was a quite big job to do, but it turned out to be really good. So that is something I can recommend. And here we have the doors finished with the new speakers installed. So that's really good. And also the center console where the shift lever and so on are. I've covered all that parts in suede as well. And here you can see the glove box and the center console and all other parts that I have managed to cover in suede. Now we're starting to reassemble the car. So here you can see when the subwoofer rest are going in behind the seats. And soon you will see the center console as well. Here you have that. It turned out really good. This suede leather is also giving a more quality feel of the interior. And then we started out with some carbon fiber because we need to have some instruments in the car because it has a supercharger, so I wanted to have a boost gauge and a lambda gauge. So we installed that in the center console, as you can see. And here we have a close-up at the speakers. And here we have the result of the center console, and we also changed the gauge cluster from miles per hour to kilometers per hour because we are in Sweden and we have kilometers per hour, and that was really nice to have. So now we are starting to get the car together again, and it's turned out to be a really good installation, but the speaker, the subwoofer, the location is not so good. So later on we are building a subwoofer down by the feet. And I also forgot to mention the tweeters are installed in the dashboard where the original was, but they are still covered with the original cover, so we don't see them, but they really lift the car's sound, the stereo sound, so to say, with new tweeters as well, of course. So the complete system with tweeters, mids and subwoofer are Cerwin-Vega, and all of the parts are driven by Cerwin-Vega amplifiers. If you have any comments or questions or anything, please write in the comments and I will answer as soon as possible. And the project with this car and the interior are not finished, so the next step is to take out the instrument board or dashboard, so to say, and we will start to cover it in leather, and also the door, the insides of the doors will be upgraded with some leather. So please follow this project and reach out with some comments and tips and tricks, and we can discuss further on.